YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Paulus Harris, aka the Crazy Uncle. Hey, guess what? If this is your first time tuning in, go ahead, hit the doggone subscribe button, hit the notification bell every time I post up new content. Well, listen, it seems to me that it seems to be that a lot of these ignorant people then took this whole Juneteenth thing and they just running with it. And I'm actually really talking about this one particular individual, Macy Gray. And uh, like what I always do, I get up every morning, wash my face, brush my teeth, check my email, check social media because I already know social media is going to give me one or four or five, rather. So I just happen to look up on this shit, what Macy Gray said, right? She's talking about, I mean, I'm almost like, okay, I'm almost like, okay, can you be that damn stupid? Or can you be that motherfucking far behind on the shit that you say? So here's the deal. So she wants to change the American flag because it looks too much like the tired Confederate flag. And I'm almost like, okay, how long has this flag been in existence? Right? And so now so now all of a sudden you want to raise hell about it. I'm almost willing to think when motherfuckers do shit like this, it's a prime example that they apparently they've been out of the spotlight for a while. So they gonna say some shit to get them back into the spotlight to act like really now. If she hasn't already done it, right? She's probably trying to promote her brand new album that's coming out here probably on July 4th. So she wants to talk about the American flag, and it's been like this for like 200 plus years. Now all of a sudden you want to say, oh, well, it looked too much like the Confederate flag. Well, duh, bitch, where the fuck you been? Then, now here's the kicker. She wants it to change whatever the design may be, when she ain't came up with no motherfucking design, right? So she wants to change it from 50 to 52. Bitch, don't you know that 50 stars shouldn't be on the motherfucking flag in the first place? It should be 49. Because there's no one of those stars represents Hawaii. Now, going back to basic geography, right? We all know what a continent is. We all know what a state is. Hell, we even know what an island is. Last time I checked, Hawaii is an island, right? And I already know what a lot of y'all finna say. Well, a law, again, a bullshit law, just like the bullshit law that got passed for Juneteenth to be a goddamn holiday, right? A bullshit law was passed to make Hawaii a state. But you can look at it and say, oh, that's an island. Now, again, I already know anybody that's actually really going to watch this is going to be like, well, technically, all of this shit is islands. Well, that's for you raggedy motherfuckers that actually really you really don't know what the fuck you talk about. You know, I tend to look at y'all like babies. Babies, they just yeah, because for the most part, you know, they trying to figure out what and you know how high to go, how high not to go, far as the voice. So when they actually really start talking, then they can actually really dictate how high they need to go, how low they need to go. So for a lot of y'all, they just talk just to be talking. Y'all a bunch of babies. Yeah. Just like what I just said, right? So so again, you know, I look at this, I'm like, okay, so you want to change the flag because it looked too much like the Confederate flag, but apparently you are just like the rest of these motherfuckers out here. You really don't know what the fuck you're talking about, right? So you think that the Confederate flag, all what the fuck y'all see is that slavery. You look at what the fuck you thought, you look at what the fuck you think was happening, and then you look at the damn Confederate flag and you're like, oh, we don't want no parts with the Confederate flag because of what the fuck it represented or what the fuck y'all thought it represented. But then you look at the American flag, the current flag that's going on, that is waving right today. And just know that that's a false representation. That is a false representation of how it truly is. It's 49 states and one island, Hawaii. Or it could be like 49 states and a bunch of islands, because I think it's Hawaii, then you got the Virgin Islands, then you got Puerto Rico, then you got some of the Philippines. So again, you know, they call them territories, right? But they're not on the motherfucking flag, right? Because see, because the fuck up happened with the island of Hawaii, right? They were like, well, damn, can we really call this a state knowing damn well it's a motherfucking island, right? So again, so after that, they were like, well, you know what? We gonna call them territories. But it's just for the simple for this bitch to actually really come out and think that it was 50 states to begin with. But then again, just like I said, you know, here's somebody that's in the industry, the entertainment industry, the bullshit industry, regardless of motherfucking division. For her to actually come out and say some shit like that, so close to what will be called Independence Day, and it either happened the day of Juneteenth, that was it when it was actually already made a national holiday, or the day prior, right? So again, you sit up here and, you know, again, people, it's like what I always say in every show possible. Just like I say, I'm fucking with this one ignorant bastard on YouTube now. I mean, I said some shit, and then this motherfucker, he gonna come up with the whole gematria shit, and then I'm just like, dog. If a man, which was created on the 6th day, builds a car that's worth 66,666 right there. And then I asked him, I'm like, well, how many letters are in the doggone alphabet? I'll wait. Because if you say 26, you about as dumb as the rest of these motherfuckers around here. And then if you actually really want to go back and look at that particular video, that I did, make sure once you watch this, go watch it. How many letters is there really in the English alphabet? I know how many it is in the Hebrew alphabet, right? But positioning is a motherfucker, right? It's all about how you see shit. It's all about how the fuck you supposed to see shit, right? And for this motherfucker to ask me to come out and say, oh, well, we want to, I mean, gratified, I don't know if anybody is following her on this. But she wants to change it from 50 to 52, when for the most part, it should have never been 50 in the first doggone place. Should have been 49. Should have been 49. 7 and 7, since they actually really want to say that. Again, I could take it there. Well, actually, I've already taken it there. You have to really go back and actually really look at a lot of my previous shows. This is what the fuck I talk about on the reg. So again, for her to actually really come out and say, I'm like, okay, bitch, how about you just said that you got a new album coming out on so-called Independence Day? And a lot of people would have ate that up. A lot of people would have ate that up. Like, seriously. And then, or should I just say, hey, in other news, right? Apparently, the state of New York is, I don't know if the bill has passed or they about to pass it, but they want to give $1,250 a month to the so-called homeless. I'm gonna say that again. $1,250 to the so-called homeless. So I'm just like, okay, considering, let's just look at the key word here. Homeless. Meaning they ain't got no fixed address. They ain't got no motherfucking bank account. But then again, when I actually stop and think about it for a minute, they already know that the average motherfucker right today is not, it's almost like, okay, since the so-called pandemic shit, you can go get your chime card or whatever bullshit card that actually really works like a bank card, even though that shit been going on forever and a day. But since the so-called pandemic has been happening, they actually really been pushing this shit, right? They really been pushing this shit. So for the most part, you could be like, okay, you can, if you're working or whatever, then you can put, and if you get direct deposit or whatever, then you can actually really, well, I ain't got the motherfucker tell y'all. Y'all know how that shit works. But the thing about it though is this. If you're homeless, you ain't, first and foremost, you don't have no motherfucking fixed address. 2, you're not gonna have no motherfucking bank account, right? And if you're homeless, what the fuck you got a cell phone for? Right? Plain and simple. So for the people, so for the government officials in the state of New York, how, and really explain this one to me. Explain this one to me, right? Unless you finna gather up all these motherfuckers. You finna gather up all these motherfuckers, right? Get them a motherfucking bank account, give them a chime card, right? And for the most part, you really ain't gotta have no motherfucking fixed address. long as you keep that motherfucking card open, right? But then again, what are the consequences behind this? Because if you're homeless 9 times out of 10, you ain't took the bullshit vaccine, right? So again, right, you know, it's like what I've always said, ain't no motherfucker, whether it's a single person, right? Or if it's something that's controlled by a whole bunch of people, and X is one person, right? Ain't nobody finna just give you money and you not have to give up something in the motherfucking process. And so for the average person, for the average motherfucker, they gonna look at it, oh, okay, that's a good thing. Really? Is it? Is it really good? Is it really a good thing? We mean what happened. I'm talking about Macy Gray. Go back. I'm talking about because you know she talking about she wants to. Okay, afternoon to you too. So I've been talking about Macy Gray. She wants to. Apparently, I wouldn't even necessarily say that she didn't woke up, but now she's all up in the air about well, she don't like how the American flag looks because it reminds her too much of the Confederate flag. So she wants to change the American flag from 50 to 52 stars, when for the most part it should have been just 49. She should have been just 49 stars. And then, like I said, you know, with this stuff that's going on in New York, the government officials up there want to talk about, they want to give $1,250 to all of the homeless people. And I'm just like, okay, they homeless. So no fixed address, unless you try to like gather up all of the homeless people to one fixed address, give everybody a motherfucking chime card or whatever bank card that's out there, right? But at the same time, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna be like, okay, hey, look, we know you doing this, we know you're homeless, but hey, guess what? We need for you to be safe. So go ahead and take this little bullshit vaccine so you'll be safe. And it's just like with the shit with Macy Gray, apparently this bitch finna come out with a new album come July 4th, because I'm just looking at the simple fact that this flag has been this way for like 200 plus years, but now all of a sudden you want to bitch about it now. Now all of a sudden you just didn't figure it out that, oh, this stuff looked too much like the Confederate flag. 9 times out of 10, the bitch probably used to watch the Dukes of Hazzard back in the day. Like a lot of people used to watch Dukes of Hazzard back in the day. The General Lee, Roscoe Pico Train, all those guys, yeah, they watched it. But now all of a sudden, it's a motherfucking problem. And just like I say, I've said all this in my previous shows. Y'all want to sit up here and holler about the Confederacy, and y'all really don't know what the fuck went down. You know, and then it's just for the simple fact, hey, they came from across that water to come over here to establish something new, because 9 times out of 10, they got tired of what the fuck was going over there across that water. So they come over here. You don't like what the fuck is going on, you either try to make change or you get the fuck out of there. So that's what the fuck they did. They got out of there. And then just for the simple fact, they know that this shit happened here. I said, I thought the Confederate flag was just one color. Now, go and Google the Confederate flag. It's the stars and bars for the most part. You know, it's like it's the colors are there. The colors are still red, white, and blue, right? But it has like an X, and then it has the stars within the X. Or whatever. Just go Google the Confederate flag. You know what I'm talking about. You know, so but you know, I'm just looking at it like, okay, well, hey, look, it is what it is, people. This is what's happening. Or this is what the fuck they actually really want you to think is going on. Right? So I'm just looking at it, I'm like, okay, yeah. You did that because you finna come out with some shit come July 4th. I know. Oh, okay. Okay, all right. Oh, okay, okay, I get it. I get it. You know, but you doing okay? How you doing? Like seriously, you know. So, but so basically, that's pretty much actually really what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about Macy Gray. I wanted to actually really talk about this shit that's about to that is either doesn't happen in New York or is about to take place. You finna give homeless people, keyword homeless, right? You finna give these people $1,250, right? And then they can just do whatever the hell they want to do with it, right? Because 9 times out of 10, that's what the fuck is gonna happen. They gonna take this money and then they just gonna they not gonna do the right thing about it. Well, at least some of them not gonna do the right thing, about it, right? Somebody either gonna be trying to get high, drunk, buy some pussy, right? Or they gonna do all three. They gonna get high, they gonna get drunk, they gonna try to buy some pussy. Plain and simple. It's what motherfuckers do, right? So, you know, it just I'm just putting it out there. You know, it is what it is, what it motherfucking is. Plain and simple, people. This is what the fuck they do. This is what the powers that shouldn't be do. They pass a bullshit law. Then here come this motherfucker. And then here come these people want to pass out money all of a sudden. And it's just like what that one person said, oh, well, this is a good way to make lazy people lazier than what the fuck they already are. So again, people, you know, I'm not gonna sit up here and I pretty much done said what I done had to say on this. So like I say, you know, anybody that actually really want to comment on this, y'all already know what to do. So hey, with that being said, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dan, tell Big Bertha, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door, cross street, round the corner. Paulus Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. Till next time.